Hi everyone, it's Raquel Bowman here, and today I'm here sharing a new layout for Cocoa Vanilla Studio. I'm actually filming in my kitchen area right now, so I haven't got my regular lighting set up, so hopefully just this natural light. There is a lot of light coming in from this side, so I apologise that it's a bit blown out, but I really wanted to create a video with you and share the brand new Cocoa Vanilla Studio collection Wild at Heart with you and a process video using it. So the photo that I've got was actually taken on the weekend. It's of my husband and I, and we were at a wedding, and I thought that I would print it sort of 3x3 to fit within this frame. Another step that I've pre-prepared is I have cut one of the Cocoa Vanilla cut files, and to find them in the Cocoa Vanilla store you need to go to cocovanilla.com.au and search for the Colour Me Happy collection, because this cut file set is actually part of that collection. So I traced the heart, and my idea was that I would cut out the internal part of the heart. I actually deleted the outside border, so I didn't have the die cut piece to take away, and it was just cut into the background. And then I used a pencil, so I've got a pen holder for my silhouette, and I popped a grey lead pencil in there, and I actually drew the outline of the heart and then machine stitched it, as you can see there. So it creates a nice texture, and it means that my idea was just to create a nice sort of detailed sort of soft background that then I can layer and add my embellishments on top of. I'm going to be focusing today on the ephemera and papers to share with you, and this frame is from the ephemera pack, and then I'm wanting to sort of highlight this gorgeous wood grain paper, which has this super nice watercolour on the back, but then this soft grey wood grain on this side. So all I'm going to do is just cut that to fit, so I'm not going to waste and stick the whole piece down, but just cut that part to fit. I'll cut and fit my frame, and then I'm going to start doing some layering. I did pre-prepare off camera just one of the florals, and this floral is from this paper here, which I've nearly used my sheet just from Fussy Cutting Florals, but it's got a really gorgeous sort of coral background and then the florals on this side. So I cut a floral, and it was a whole piece, and I actually cut it in half so I could have each piece on either side. And then what I want to do is just layer with some of the different ephemera. I've grabbed out one of the wood veneer titles, and then I'll finish the page with some journaling and stickers and things. So that's my plan so far, and I will speed up the video and voice over the last part of me actually putting this together. Okay, so I begin my layout by getting that frame onto my photo. So I printed my photo exactly to fit that 3x3 frame. And then what I did was I've left a little bit of a border, and that meant that I could place some liquid adhesive on it, and I knew that my frame had something to adhere to. I didn't apply it directly straight, so I just had to cut a little bit of the excess off that I could see at the bottom. Then what I'm going to do behind my frame is, I know I want to use a doily, but I was tossing up what size doily to use. I didn't want to cover that whole gorgeous heart background that I had created. I ended up doing a lot of embellishing and covering more than I intended, but choosing a really, really large doily was going to cover up a bit too much. So I cut out about I think it was around maybe a 7-inch sort of square to place of pattern paper to place behind that heart with that wood grain paper facing up, and I adhere that down, and then I'm just building on those layers and just sort of trying to get an idea for a design. So I sort of did a little bit of this before I started filming. I'm a little bit rusty with filming process videos. I have been and I apologize. I know that I haven't been updating my channel as much as I would like to, so I sort of did a bit of preparing beforehand. It can be a bit of stage fright sometimes when you know that the camera's on, when you might not have done a video for a certain period of time. That's what I find anyway. So what I've got is I've got lots of layers happening here. I have some of the floral that I showed you at the start. I have some floral ephemera pieces, lots of ephemera pieces actually, because that was one of my focuses for today's post. I also have cut out on my Cameo, I filled a 12 by 12 sheet and I cut out multiple leaves and those florals from that same Colour Me Happy cut file set. And then what I've also layered in there as well is just a few word stickers and things like that. So I'm beginning to adhere. And this process, as you saw me placing everything together, came together really quickly, and that's not because everything just fell in place quickly. That's because I had thought a little bit about this layout beforehand, as I mentioned. So I'm definitely not a fast scrapbooker. I'm quite a maybe painstakingly slow scrapbooker at times, and it takes me a while to come up with a decision on my layout design that I'm happy with. Once I'm happy, it certainly falls together quickly, like it is now where I'm adhering, but that beforehand process sometimes can take a little length of time. What I did do, which I haven't explained yet, is that gorgeous paper that I fussy cut that floral from, because I'm focusing on paper as well in this post on the blog, is that I decided I wanted to create another layer of paper coming to the left and right of my photo. So what I actually did was I cut sort of a rectangle shape. I cut a fishtail banner from each end, and I do that simply by folding that piece of paper in half and cutting like a triangle across. I've done it on a couple of my videos before, especially a light up banner that I did, if you wanted to go back through my videos and check that out. But it's a really simple and easy way to cut a fishtail banner out. And then what I've done is just cut that in half, so I can place half on one side and half on the other, and it looks like that piece continues through. And that's also what I did with the floral, as you saw, and I mentioned that I cut that in half. It looks like it's one continuous piece behind that photo and behind that frame, but it's the two separate pieces. I'm layering up those bits and pieces that I've gathered, and I'm using a variety of either a foam tape or my tape runner, and I also have glue dots, but I didn't end up using them on this page. I just used a liquid glue or my tape or a foam adhesive. To adhere down those rubber charms, which are so nice, I'm using a liquid adhesive. I find that they're the best thing for that sort of a material. If I've used the tape, I'm not as happy with how they secure down than if I use that liquid adhesive. What I'm also doing, and what I have done, is I've used my liquid adhesive in that fine line bottle to adhere down the Love You, and I use my T-square ruler to get that semi-straight. It's a bit hard because the font is actually a staggered font, but I sort of knew that I wanted it sort of central and reasonably straight, so that's what I've aimed to do there. I'm also adhering down, and what I've cut from the cut apart pattern paper is, it says, I think, "You're some kind of wonderful." That was actually from the cut apart sheet, where you get a combination of 3x4 cards and 4x6 cards and then smaller elements. So I cut that out, and that sort of runs along that length of that title, which I really like the effect of. And then underneath that is a sticker that says, "I just can't get enough." Now I am working to the top of my layout, and the reason that I'm doing that is because I want to add some journaling. So there I'm showing you the journaling that I'm going to add. It was a quote that I found on Pinterest. I love quotes. There's something that I sort of collect them. I save them to my phone. I save them to my Pinterest board that's called quotes, and they're ones that really speak to me. And this one sort of summed up, I guess, my love for my hubby, if I talk all soppy like that. So what I did was I've typed that up on my typewriter right now, and then I'm going to just adhere that in strip form underneath that title area. While I'm typing, I'll tell you what I did also with just to finish off the page a little bit. So I've added a couple of smaller embellishments like stars and hearts and the butterfly. Some tiny word stickers to the left of the page as well. And then the finishing sort of touches are the enamel dots and a little bit of gold colour shine. I find that sort of, to me, especially the enamel dots, is like those final touches where I'm like, yep, the layout's now finished and I'm happy with it. So you can see that I'm adhering my journaling. And to do this, I do use my T-square ruler a little bit, but mainly if I adhere the first row of journaling, I'll then gauge off that for making sure that it's straight. And because my title and those elements above it are going in that horizontal direction, I did want the journaling to be straight and not crooked. So here's some close-ups of the page. Really love that wood veneer look to the title. It really stands out. Lots of layering of embellishments and fussy cut papers. And of course our photo being the central focus point. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video today, and I will be back soon with some more process videos to my channel, hopefully back to a bit of a normal routine. Bye everyone.